Not all yields are the same. The sooner the better, especially in Civ 7 when it comes to ages. Every time an age transition happens in Civ 7, it leaves most buildings and bonuses from the previous age practically useless. This makes earlier yields in the age more important in the sense that a library giving you 3 science that you build on turn 40 gives you just as much science for the age as an academy giving you 12 science that you build on turn 100 if the age ends on turn 120. This is a pretty simple way of evaluating this, but it is actually even more important than that. In Civ, earlier yields unlock things for you along the way, giving you access to more powerful bonuses and creating your snowball sooner. You can see this in the memento of Lydian Lion, which gives you 200 gold right when you start the game. This 200 gold only equates to less than 2 gold per turn for the entire age, which is tiny, but you would never evaluate it like that. The real bonus comes from being able to do things like purchase a scout right at the start of the game when scouts are most valuable, and allows you to get the snowball rolling faster. Early yields are important, but some early yields are more important than others. It depends on what you can do with those yields. For instance, early science with no production means you can't build those powerful buildings you unlock. Some of the most important early game yields in Civ 7 are culture, gold, and influence. Culture to unlock powerful policy cards, gold to turn towns into cities, and influence to soothe independent powers, which leads to the most powerful Antiquity Age combo, the narrative build, Jose Rizal of Greece. Jose's bonuses are when gaining rewards from a narrative event, gain an additional 20 culture, 20 gold, and 20 influence per age. Jose has additional narrative events, his celebrations are 50% longer, and he gets 50% happiness towards those celebrations. This is pretty easy to understand, but hard to evaluate. It leads you to 3 questions regarding Jose's narrative events, which are: how many are there? How easy are they to complete? And most importantly, when do you complete them? The first question in how many are there actually depends on the settings you are playing with. Jose's added narrative events come from meeting all other players on the map. So if you are playing on a huge Pangea map with 12 players, Jose is much stronger because he has lots of players he can easily meet. And in contrast, Jose is weaker on an archipelago map with only 4 players, since there would be less players that are harder to meet. So you can set up the game in a way that makes Jose much better. In fact, Jose is one of the only leaders who got indirectly buffed in the recent patches by Firaxis, since now you can play on larger maps with more players. The settings also help answer the next 2 questions, in how easy they are to get and when do you complete them. In a general sense, meeting other players is pretty simple to do early on in the age, and it is something you are going to be doing in every game, but this is influenced by the map type, which again is determined by the player. You can set up the game in a way that makes Jose an absolute powerhouse, and setting up a Civ game like that is a pretty common situation. A huge Pangea map with lots of players, lots of interactions is a fun way to play Civ, and Jose dominates in that setting. Plus, even better, I've been lying to you. I've been leaving out the cherry on top for Jose. You also get the rewards from the narrative events. The 20 culture golden influence is on top of the actual bonus. Now, the actual bonus isn't anything crazy, but when you are getting 10 plus of them very early on in the game, everything starts stacking and stacking faster than any other leader Civ combo, which leads us to the synergy with Greece. Greece's stated bonuses are +3 influence per turn on the palace, which is even more influence that you get right from the start of the game. They get +30% production towards constructing the Oracle, which seems like it would be good and synergize with Jose of Greece. However, you actually unlock this a little too late in the age for it to be beneficial. The Greece unique infantry unit, the Hoplite, is extremely good and synergistic since it gains strength from Suzing independent powers. The Great Person is fairly mediocre, but the Acropolis is a nice unique quarter that does also give you extra influence if you build the Parthenon on rough terrain. All of these bonuses are good, but what isn't stated here are Greece's narrative events and Greece's unique civic tree. Greece has more narrative events than any other civ in the game, which obviously lines up perfectly with Jose's bonuses of getting culture, gold, and influence every time you trigger a narrative event. But on top of this, Greece's unique civic tree allows all the extra influence we are getting from being Jose and being Greece to go way further than it would otherwise. Greece's policy card allows our influence to go an extra 50% towards befriending independent powers, but it doesn't stop there. You can combine this with Greece's narrative event. When completing their unique civic tree, you are guaranteed a diplomatic attribute point. Combining this with a Jose narrative event in which you are guaranteed another diplomatic attribute point when you first choose an independent power. When you combine these 2 points in the diplomatic tree, you get another 50% towards befriending independent powers. This makes Suzing half off for the rest of the game. As a player, if you go straight into the Greek unique civic tree, you are getting both of these diplomatic points prior to turn 50, and usually much sooner than that. And this is what gives Jose of Greece so much momentum. You are able to Suze more independent powers faster than any other combo in the game. At turn 50, with 2 diplomatic points and an average of 15 narrative events, you have about 4 times the purchasing power of someone who isn't Jose of Greece. If you would have gotten 3 city-states before, how about 12 now? You can Suze independent powers as soon as you meet them. And the best part is, stacking city-states is one of the most powerful strategies in Civ 7. Jose of Greece does the best strategy better than anyone else, which is why the narrative build, Jose Rizal of Greece, is the best Antiquity Age leader Civ combo.